The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
The Lipton is synonymous with tennis, at least for these 2 weeks in sun-bathed Dade County of South Florida. The two most explosive players in tennis are in today's final. The highest ranked world player, he likes to project a positive image.
Something that's really important to me is to, I'm number one player in the world, and a lot of kids look up to me, and it's important to be a role model, to have someone out there that holds this in class.
Rod Laver won 2 Grand Slams. That's all 4 big ones in 1 year. Sampras has won the last 3, and he'd love to emulate his idol by blasting big serve after big serve. Image, Andre Agassi is the epitome of the image man.
I think I spend about 80% of my time feeling like I wish I was just another guy, But I think that 20% is an important part, because that's that part that makes me realize what kind of impact I can have on people.
Agassi has the best return game in tennis, and he'll need it today. It's the battle of 2 giants of U.S. tennis, Agassi versus Sampras, as we race our way in today's final match at the Lipton. This brand new stadium on Key Biscayne has transformed the Lipton from just another tour stop to something really special. It seats 14,000. It was finished just last month. It is state-of-the-art, and it hosts the Lipton Championships. In today's final match, playing for $242,000, Pete Sampras of the USA, the number 1 player in the world, takes on the comeback kid, Andre Agassi. Fans drive over this Rickenbacker causeway on another, well, I was going to say fine day, but actually it's kind of humid, 94% humidity. The temperature is 90 degrees. Under normal circumstances, that would be fine, because this is a best-of-3 set match. The winds, which can be a problem here in Key Biscayne, will not be a factor today. But there is a major problem for this great day of tennis, and that is that Pete Sampras is feeling very poorly. He is on court, but there was a time earlier today when it looked like he may not play. And indeed, the question is whether he's going to get through this match. He arrived at the stadium today with a stomach condition. He was treated with intravenous fluids by the tournament physician, Dr. Charles Virgin. He has been dizzy, but he has graciously decided that he is going to give it a great shot today. We'll see just how great. On the other hand, Andre Agassi, because this match was supposed to have begun about 55 minutes ago, could have called for the title, but there was no way he would do that. He graciously allowed a delay, and so the show will go on. Warm greetings to you, everybody. That's the bad news, and the question is whether Pete Sampras is going to be able to see this thing through. We will find that out. The good news is that it is a day to celebrate for this great championship here. It is a showcase for tennis. The Lipton is the biggest and the best tournament after the U.S. Open in the United States, and believe me, it has been an unqualified success. American players have done so well here. Sampras trying to win his 2nd in a row. He won it in '93. Michael Chang before that. When Jim Courier won it in '91, he had a great year after that, and Andre Agassi had an excellent year after winning the Lipton in 1990. So let me introduce you to Pam Shriver. And Pam, I guess the question is, how is Pete Sampras going to play if he's in shape? And that is a big question.
Well, a healthy Pete Sampras makes this match fascinating, because it's contrasting styles. You've got the unbelievable serve of Pete Sampras, the best in the world, as you see the stats there on the week. But he's facing the best returner in the game, and the pressure on the server, when you know you're serving to the best returner, can really be immense. So he's also got to be careful when he comes to net and how. He's got to keep Andre guessing, because if Andre knows he's coming to net, he loves the target, and that can make for a long day for Pete Sampras. But it has the potential to be a great matchup.
As we've already said, of course, it may be a very long day for Pete Sampras, depending on how he feels. Nevertheless, it's an interesting contrast in styles, and Andre Agassi Well, he is, as Pam has already said, the best returner in the business. More than that, Betsy Nagelson. This is a remarkable comeback for him because he had surgery in December.
Well, it's just unbelievable how quickly he's been able to come back and play at this level. I mean, he only played 13 tournaments last year and finally had to have his injured wrist operated on at the end of the year. He missed 5 months of tennis, and the first tournament he plays this year, he wins. And he arrives here at Lipton ranked 31 in the world, seeded 24, and he beats Becker, he beats Edberg. And, you know, here he finds himself in the final. And you can see when he gets himself into this position, he has done very, very well. He has not lost a final since losing to Jim Curry in the 1991 French Open. And, you know, in his whole career, 28 times he's been in the final. 20 of those times he wins them. That says he loves this occasion, and he's a very big match player.
So when you boil it all down, the big occasion is what he likes. I think you could say the same thing about Pete Sampras because he holds 3 Grand Slam titles. It's going to be, we hope, the big serve and the big overhead of Pete Sampras against the return of serve and the ground strokes of Andre Agassi. It's the final of the Lipton. We're in Key Biscayne, best of 3 sets, and as we've said, $242,000 at stake. Sampras and Agassi in the men's final next.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final round of singles, best of 3 primary sets. Sampras won the toss and led the receive.
Ready.
Hello, I'm Butch Buchholz, chairman of the Lipton Championships. I'm here in front of our fabulous new stadium in tropical Key Biscayne, Florida, where our men's final will soon begin. This year marks our 10th anniversary of bringing world-class tennis to spectators and viewers from all over the world. Each step of the way, we have been fortunate to have the support and loyalty of the Thomas J. Lipton Company. So on behalf of the 5,000 employees of Thomas J. Lipton and all of those who have contributed to our success, welcome to an exciting afternoon of tennis on ABC.
This is the stadium here, and this Dade County area hosts so many great sporting teams. The Marlins, the Heat, the Florida Panthers, the Miami Dolphins. Now it has this great 14,000-seat stadium, which hosts the Lipton Championships. It's called the Tennis Center at Crandon Park, and it's on beautiful Key Biscayne. Well, this crowd of 14,000 has been waiting patiently for this men's championship match. It will be a best of 3 sets, and I mean, the card, if this was a boxing bout, would be terrific. The #1 player in the world against probably the most charismatic player in Andre Agassi. Agassi will serve first point. Keep an eye on Pete Sampras, because I would judge that had this not been a network national television appearance, the 22-year-old from Washington, now in Tampa, would not have played this match. He is giving it his best shot in the hope that maybe the adrenaline will help him and his stomach problems out. Pete Pete Sampras has only lost a couple of matches this year. He's the #1 ranked player in the world. He holds 3 Grand Slam titles as of now, and he's already made a whole pot full of money, as you can see. 30 love.
Usually if a player's not feeling well, it's always nice to have shorter points. So I would think that Pete would want to, he likes to come to net anyway, but you'd think he'd take every opportunity. He's seen a couple of second serves so far in the match, but he hasn't attacked the second serve. I think he'd rather do that than be caught in long baseline rallies.
Running forehand is his favorite shot. That one he steered way wide and long.
And actually, Cliff, it's been a really tough situation for both players. I mean, Andre Agassi was, so gracious to sort of say, Pete, whatever you need in terms of time, that's fine. And, he maybe suffers a small mental letdown. I mean, he was prepared to play well over an hour ago against, a dominating Pete Sampras.
It's tough to get up against somebody that you know is not well.
Exactly. It's not an easy thing to do.
Drop volley for the winner, and Agassi's on the board. 1 game to love. Pete Sampras is walking gingerly to the sidelines. Let's hope that he can stay in this thing. We'll be back.
Drinking carbonation. I would think that would be.
I think it's better than drinking still
Water? Yeah. I don't know. I always thought carbonation was bad.
Say 1 love and let you go. Yep. One game to love. Agassi in the first set.
And this is definitely not the Pete Sampras that we've been looking at all week. He is definitely not feeling well. And, it's such a shame because he's been so good. He's been hardly, he's been winning his matches comfortably. And you can see he's really struggling.
Two have played against each other 8 times. They are 4 apiece. So it was interesting in talking to Sampras earlier this week when he said that he felt very sure that Agassi was going to get into the final before Agassi played Patrick Rafter in the semifinal. And when you talk about him, you just feel the respect that he has for the return game of Agassi. He's beaten Sampras 4 times. Shots like that.
And if there was ever a time one needed to be at their absolute best, their quickest, it is against the Agassi return game and the Agassi passing shots. I mean, he can open up a court better than anyone that's ever played the game, perhaps, except for maybe Jamie Connors, but he gets such angle that Sampras is going to really need to cover so much of the court today in order to win this match. And the real question is he up to it?
Well, he started the match with a 93-mile-an-hour first serve, where Agassi started his with a 109. Usually you would think that would be the opposite. You're wondering whether or not he needs to just loosen up. He only warmed up for a couple of minutes with his coach, Tim Gullickson, on an outside court just moments before coming out. So he hasn't had his usual warm-up.
15 all.
Those are the kind of points, Pam, that you were saying he really needs to have very short if he can take charge early on, which is something he does so well anyway. I mean, he's such a great first striker of the ball with his serve. He's got such firepower.
113-mile-an-hour bomb, clean ace. It is game point.
Warming up in a hurry.
He has served as high as 128, so there's room to move. 121 on that one.
Looked like Pete tried to take the pace off the ball there. He hit a slice that sort of floated, and then he hit a topspin shot that sailed long. But I would imagine part of the strategy is to not give Agassi all that much power. Agassi loves the pace.
Game point, Sampras. Who can forget 1989 when Thomas Muster was unloading his tennis bags out of a parked car the night before the Lipton final that year? A drunk driver hit the stationary car onto him and he went down with a serious knee injury, had to pull out. Lendl won his second Lipton. So there was no final that year at all. Balance that with the fact that this has been a tremendous Lipton in every respect.
This has been really the only frightening moment for the tournament directors. The weather's been perfect all week long, unlike last year. It rained, I believe, 8 days out of the tournament, and the court bubbled up. It was really a disaster at times. Not sure what Pete had in mind on that backhand. He wanted to change directions, go up the line. Sometimes when you're not feeling well, you don't click on mentally as to what you should be doing on the court. Your mind is just so absorbed with your condition.
120-mile-an-hour serve from Sampras. You compare his condition with Andre Agassi's. I really think that Agassi is in as good a physical state as he has ever been. His trainer, Gil Reyes, says that last year he was about anywhere from 176 to 180 pounds. Now he's down to 161 to 164. And it shows. Sampras holds on. 1 game all, first set.
Well, Sampras has had a pretty routine way. He's lost a couple of sets in the tournament, both middle sets, and then he came back and sandwiched them with easy sets on either side, so he's really never in danger. Of course, the most interesting game of the whole tournament was the semifinal tiebreak against Courier, which went 12-10.
And Courier held 2 set points in that tiebreak.
Took about 20 minutes. Called it good. Sampras isn't even playing the point. He was sure the serve was wide, and that volley is steered wide, and he wins the point anyway. 15 love.
That was a tough situation for Agassi there. He kind of hesitated and saw that Sampras wasn't really playing the point and steered the volley wide.
Said 15 love. It's love 15. As you said, Betsy, it is not easy to play against somebody that you know is in terrible shape because you lose the focus.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you can't help but wonder, you know, is he 100%? Is he going to get better? Is he going to get worse? And the same thing must be going through Sampras's mind. That's the tactic right there. I'm sure that Agassi wants to stick to as we look at the Agassi camp.
That's Philip on the left of your screen. That is Brad Gilbert on the right, top right of your screen. He has been helping Agassi out. Very interesting. There's an interesting sight. Stefano Capriati in the sunglasses on the right of your screen. Jennifer Capriati's father. She is out, at least until she finishes school.
It was interesting and funny, actually, when Agassi was asked how he felt about being ranked 31 in the world, and he said, well, I'd sure like to play the number 30 guy for an awful lot of money, and it just so happens that the number 30 guy in the world is Brad Gilbert.
30 all.
Now working with Andre Agassi.
That's wide. Break point here for Pete Sampras in the third game. Brad Gilbert, of course, is not his official coach by any means yet. I have the feeling that Agassi would actually like him to be, but Brad Gilbert, of course, is still a player. He doesn't have time to go out there and work with Agassi. But he has helped him this week.
And he was the understudy for this match. He was ready to go in case Pete Sampras couldn't come out on the court.
Break point. Double faults on Pete Sampras, who, as we've been telling you, was very cautious about playing at all today, has a break. 2-1. In other words, he's really talking about his return. Yeah. Sampras leads this match with a break 2-1, and he's about to serve. He has a lot of respect for the way that Andre Agassi plays. They've played 8 times. Agassi's won 4 matches. Listen to what he says about Agassi's game.
I think we all know that Andre's got as much talent as anyone in the world, and it's amazing that his third tournament back, he's beaten Edberg, he's beaten Becker pretty handily, and that's pretty amazing. He's got the game. He's the one guy on the tour that I fear, because he can really return my serve as well as anyone. He can pick it off, and when he gets his game going, he's one of the best players in the world.
Pretty high praise, isn't it? High as number 3 in the world. That's a second ace from Sampras.
Second double.
A double, I mean, excuse me.
It's terrible when you're the server and you have that kind of fear when you are serving to the returner. It really is just a very intimidating feeling. That's what Sellis had for so many years on the women's tour, is when you served to Sellis, you didn't know where to serve. Do you serve wide, to which side? Do you jam her? Sometimes you just had no idea what to do.
Yeah, I mean, do you take some pace off and let her step up and really get a good hit at it? Or do you try to serve as big as you can? But oftentimes great returners like pace. Agassi just sees the ball so early and he picks it up so quickly.
You have made the point, Betsy, and so has Pete Sampras, that Agassi had a pretty tough road to the final.
Yes, I mean, you can see that his toughest match all week long was against the lowest ranked player in the very first round, and then he beat, hard serving, huge serving Boris Becker. the U.S. Open finalist, Pialine, and of course the greatest serving volleyer in the game, Stefan Edberg. And in the semifinals, the surprise semifinalist of the tournament, Patrick Rafter from Australia, had a great tournament, beat Michael Chang, the 6th seed, in the round of 16, and then beat Jim Grab, who's having a great comeback. He was out most of last year with a shoulder injury, had to have surgery, and he's back playing very, very well. It's great to see that.
Big serve of Pete Sampras takes him to game point here. For all of last year, he led the field in first serve points won, break points saved, service games won.
And he served so big from 15-30 down, which he's done in the last 2 points. That's such a great benefit of the big serve. 15-30, suddenly you're up 40-30.
I was interested in you two talking about how intimidating it is if you've got a great returner serve. How do you think people feel playing against the big serve? Deuce.
Yeah, just when you think you've got a slight opening, just a small crack, I mean, you always know in the back of your mind that the server can just step up and win 1, 2, 3 very cheap points. And it makes you press sometimes a little bit harder because you know you only get a few chances to break.
Sampras has a game point.
As we look at the crowd enjoying, it's really the biggest crowd of the 10-day tournament.
Record crowds, of course, in this new stadium. 14,000, 8,500 permanent, 6,500 temporary. They'll come down when the tournament's over. Sampras holds on. He's got a 3-game-to-1 lead in the first set.
As we look at the service game leader, ace is 1,011. And there you see the 82 and the 90. That's first service points won by Sampras and service games won total 90%. And then the return of serve, Agassi at 60%, return games won 37%, which is very high.
Missed that one.
37% doesn't sound like a big high percent, but the way these guys serve now, so many serve between 110 and 120, 125. Yeah. It's very difficult to break serve.
Agassi's broken serve 19 times this week.
Oh, that running forehand of Pete Sampras has got so much control.
And that shot right there is probably the best forehand in the game. I mean, he is capable of, on the full run, getting such amazing pace and control. That's because he's got that loose wrist. He can just flick balls that get a little bit by him. He still can come up with a lot of pace.
Well, Pete's looking to Richard Kaufman. He didn't really agree with the call there. That gives Agassi his second break as we have a look at Richard Kaufman, a veteran of the APT Tour.
ATP. But we know what you meant. 30-15.
It's my dyslexia coming out.
Miss hit. 30 off. You know, it's so easy to look at Pete Sampras' big serve and say that that's it for him. But that is far from it for him because he has a great ground game. He used to be a two-handed baseline player till he was about 13 or 14.
And I would say at 13 and 14 is about the last stage you'd want to do a major change in somebody's game like that. It's very hard to start making major changes when you're already playing any senior events. Paul McNamee, I believe, changed from a one-hander to a two-hander, but he was in his 20s.
Ed Berg did the same thing, 2 hands to 1 hand. Percy Rosberg was his coach, the same guy that coached Bjorn Borg in Sweden. Game point. So Agassi holds up, but he's a break of serve down. Pete Sampras will serve after the break. Sampras leads 3 games to 2, first set.
I wasn't listening when Brian was saying what that return and serve. I was writing something down, and then I was just like, all I did was read it. I should have pointed it back to you. That's what I'll do next time.
Just say I didn't write
I thought I said APT, and then I thought, well, P and T sound. I thought, what did I say? Up. Yeah, well. How long are the bathroom breaks here? 5 minutes like our tour, or does anyone know? 3? Yeah, we have more to take care of. Do you want to know graphic details? Bit of a breeze by the look of the umbrella, huh?
I do. Limp hop is tough.
Hop.
Right. Limp hop. Our shots from overhead today of this beautiful stadium and the Key Biscayne area, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls today is Captain Richard Daniels from Burbank, California. He's kind of a long way from home, isn't he? Enjoy the matches from up there, guys. It is Pete Sampras who took a short break, left the court. As we have already told you, he had a serious stomach condition. I had heard at one point that he had thrown up. We understand that is not true. There was some question about trying to make him throw up in order to get out of his system whatever it is that is causing him the problem. It is not certain at this stage what did cause his stomach condition, but he has been dizzy and feeling very poorly. 3-2 he leads, though.
This is a big game for Sampras because in his previous 2 service games, he didn't have a break point against him, but he was taken to deuce in both of those games as he throws in a huge first serve, 121 miles an hour. So he's not winning his service games that easily so far. He's been pressured.
Missed it. 15-all.
You have to wonder why he took a big topspin swipe at that rather than just playing either a flat or a slice ball. And he is serving up the tough end right now with a sun. Coming in for first volleys can make things a little awkward.
Good second serve. It really jammed Agassi. The thing about the Sampras serve is that he can go anywhere in the box. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have a true pattern. His best service in the deuce court is the one out wide. He can really break that one, get the opponent way out of court.
Beat Courier in the semifinals, and Courier said after that match, if Pete's serving well, he's good on anything. He could play on nails. Sampras has been #1 in the world for 27 weeks. was wondering if he was letting that drop because of his stomach ailment, but it was just barely long, and Sampras has got a game point. Look at this again.
Does a good job. Sampras places the volley deep into the corner, and Agassi gets to it. And actually, Agassi thought that was in, but it was just long.
Game point. Somebody's saying, come on, Andre, we got faith in you. That is a great running or moving forehand, at least, from Sampras.
I don't think it's a good idea for Andre to hit his two-hander up the line to the big Sampras forehand, because he loves to go back cross-court. Here's going to be the forehand. Watch this racket face come around. Just nails the open court. Andre doesn't have a chance.
4-2 Sampras. He's improved that forehand, hasn't he?
Well, there was the same backhand up the line. I don't quite understand why he's doing that. It's just opening up the court for Pete.
He's really getting burned on that shot. And the Courier game plan against Sampras in the semifinal was to go to the backhand, attack the backhand, just pound the backhand, and eventually you hope that Sampras will make the error.
He got that one too, so that's love 30. The scary thing about his game is that that forehand used to be the kind of the weaker side, and now with Tim Gullickson having him hit with a little bit more topspin off both sides, it's not as vulnerable as it used to be.
And that's the biggest improvement in the Sampras game, is his backcourt game. Groundies are so much better, so much safer. Keeps more in play.
3 break points for Sampras, and he's got a break already.
Well, Andre's going to have to really regroup here soon. I'm sure the preparation before the match was so awkward for him, wondering whether he'd even have an opponent. Now he's got an opponent. He's got everything he can handle.
Still a break point.
Now the look at Sampras with the running forehand. This is what he does so well. He's just got such quick racket speed, but shows us a little bit what he's feeling.
Once again.
Makes it look easy, doesn't he? 5 games to 2. Sampras has got 2 breaks of serve now. Not feeling well, maybe, but he sure is playing well. Cliff, Pete's on the court.
Because that's what set that whole thing up again. Isn't that weird?
Ridiculous strategy. I mean,
unless he's got the old, the old book on Pete, and he hadn't.
Courier, right? No. 6-3, 6-7, 7-6. It was tiebreak in the third. Yeah. I will use it.
And then that U.S. Open time when wasn't he really sick against?
When was Atlanta this year?
Atlanta was this year. I'm going to mention that right now.
U.S. Open against Edberg that year. He was sick as a dog.
Yeah.
Remember?
We can mention
and lost, didn't he?
Lost in 4.
This young lady enjoying the tennis today. Just do it, Andre. She's an Andre Agassi fan. Next week, hockey returns here to ABC with exciting regional matchups. Detroit battle Chicago. Rangers take on Winnipeg. LA meets Vancouver or Boston. Boston and Chicago and Washington. That's live coverage at 1 Eastern, noon Central Pacific time next Sunday here on ABC Sports. Sampras 5-2 and serving first set, 2 breaks. Sampras, as we said, has had some problems with his stomach. That's 4 double faults now for Sampras. Remember, in his losing effort to Stefan Edberg at the US Open a few years ago, he had stomach problems. He also had stomach problems against Courier and Hong Kong last year. And he had to pull out of an exhibition match during the Super Show in Atlanta earlier this year. But apparently they're not all the same problem.
Well, that's what Agassi is hoping for by just hitting the ball up the middle of the court. But so far, Sampras has been so effective and so good with that ball out of the middle of the court with his forehand. I mean, his last service game was his easiest one, Pete Sampras. But to break Agassi just now, he hit 3 forehand winners.
Got it. So here, 3 break points for Agassi.
And it's his first break point opportunities, even though Pete has struggled a couple times early. As we look at the backhand pass of Andre up the line. This is why you always want to get 2 breaks in a set. Gives you a little room to maneuver.
Agassi gets 1 back. 5-3, and he'll serve.
Well, even though that was a first service game Sampras dropped, he's serving under 50%, and he's double faulted 4 times. So I would say that he has not found his service rhythm yet.
Really, he felt the same way in his semifinal match in beating Jim Courier. He felt like he didn't really serve that well, but he served really well when he needed to.
Oh! Well, he's certainly going for it on the forehand wing. Has been all set long.
He does such a good job to be able to play that forehand. He gets such a great shoulder rotation.
15 all.
And that time the backhand up the line from Agassi had much more sting to it. The pace is what beat Pete. As we look at the first serve percentages, big difference, nearly 70% for Agassi and a bit under 50% from Pete.
Elena Mulcahy, now a Florida girl, formerly from Austin, Texas, Pete Sampras's girlfriend. They are very close and have been for a long time.
She's going to law school not too far away from here, and she's
Tampa.
yeah.
Anyway, Agassi holds on, and the score now is 5-4. Agassi's been broken twice, Sampras once so far.
I think his condition is wilting. Are we changing shirts?
Must be.
Is that a 40-15 game?
There's a set of teeth. She should be a poster child for the American Dental Association.
Honey, I wasn't looking at the teeth.
You were looking at that other white bit below, huh? Oh, look at her.
Okay. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of this final day of the Lipton Championships for 1994. It has been a great tournament. Pete Sampras is the top player in the world, and he leads Andre Agassi 5-4. He is serving for the first set. Now, she could do a Pepsodent commercial, couldn't she? Or a Colgate commercial, something like that. She loves Andre Agassi, and she's not alone. He is enormously popular. In fact, he transcends the game of tennis. Nike commercials and things that he have done have made him not only a tennis celebrity, but an international superstar, as is this man, Pete Sampras, more because of what he does on court. It is interesting that just a year ago, Sampras was not the #1 player in the world, and now he dominates the men's field. Courier was #1 at the Lipton last year.
That was a huge serve from Pete because he had lost 8 of the last 9 points. Now he started with an ace, so he's up 15 love. Second time he's served for the set. You could hear the spin of the ball. You could actually hear the mishit come off Agassi's racket, and that's what messed Sampras up.
It was right here at last year's Lipton that Courier lost his #1 ranking to Pete Sampras, who was trying to be the only person, the only man to be able to defend this title.
That could be nerves, really. I would say he very seldom misses that kind of volley. It's an easy volley.
He could also be running out of steam.
And when you know you're running out of steam, it makes you more nervous because you know you got to really end it, try and get this set over with.
Puts that one away easily, and it's 30-all. The thing about Pete Sampras is that you never know. Remember when he won that first US Open, was walking around the court so lackadaisically, and everybody said, the kid doesn't care. Of course, it's not true. He does care desperately. In fact, he wants to go down in the history books alongside the names of guys like Rod Laver and Ken Rosewall, and he talks in terms of the records of Jack Nicklaus, for example. He cares desperately, but he's a very amiable guy.
Well,
very casual.
As we've been saying, as he serves his third ace at 123 miles per hour, I mean, he really seems to have a vision for the future. He's done so many things that are preparing himself to be a great player. He wants to be talked about in the same sentence with Rod Laver and Roy Emerson and the greats. And he's very well on his way at only age 22. He already has 4 Grand Slam titles.
Double fault. That was a set point. Agassi saved it. It's 5 double faults for Sampras. Missed it, so Agassi's got another break point to get this thing level.
It's almost like Pete doesn't believe that he's actually in the winning position in this set. He was up 2 breaks, but it's like he knows how horribly he felt, and he's shocked that he was up 2 breaks.
I mean, here's a guy who shouldn't really even be out here. The doctors advised him, it'd be better, certainly better for you not to come out here. You're not going to get worse, and out he comes and finds himself in a position to win the first set. Already had 1 set point, served a double fault, and now here's his second. Now it's a break point for Agassi.
Deuce.
Sampras knew coming into this match that to be able to take control of this match, we knew he'd control a serve, but it was really important for him to be in a controlling position on the return games as well from the back court.
Topspin lob is good, and it is another break point for Agassi.
But he didn't hit that first volley at all. He just sort of caressed it and placed it rather softly. And it gives Agassi the opening here to come up with that lob. Look how well disguised it is. Pete would have had no idea that it was going to be a lob until the last moment.
I think that's why Sampras says he's so dangerous.
He used the lob beautifully against Edberg and earlier in the tournament against Becker. Break point, second serve. Going for the big forehand, and he misses that one, and Agassi has got the second break. We're back even in the first set, 5 games all.
And that's 3 games in a row for Agassi.
You've got to believe Pete Sampras' best chance in this match would be to win in straight sets fairly comfortably and not be out on the court too long.
Agassi had wrist surgery in December, done by the same doctor who did Jimmy Connors a few years ago. Love 15, and school's still out on just how successful it has been. It was very successful for Connors, and the doc says that this wrist of his will, he hopes, be okay, but school's still out. In fact, I was talking to somebody who watched him warm up, and he said it still is painful. Missed that one. Said it's painful for him until he gets it warmed up. When he hits the first few, you can sort of see him wince in some pain.
Well, certainly coming into this event, I mean, only the 3rd tournament of the year, there had to be, some concern, but he has certainly dispelled any notion that his wrist so far is causing him any problem.
15-30.
As we mentioned earlier, Agassi was only able to play 13 events last year. He did win 2, and they came early in the year. And you can see his record in '94. He's played 3 tournaments already this year, only this year, and he's won the first one that he played. And now he finds himself in the final of his 3rd event. And it's a big event.
Game point for Agassi. He tried to defend his Wimbledon title with a sore wrist. He had an abbreviated serve motion, and this man, Pete Sampras, beat him in the quarterfinals, but it took 5 sets.
Which was a great effort because Agassi had played very little tennis when he arrived in England.
Game point. Missed that, so Agassi down love 30 in that game, wins 4 in a row. Now he leads for the first time in the match, 6 games to 5. We'll take a break. Yes. Okay. So Wander Agassi has turned this match around. He was down 5-2. He now leads 6 games to 5, taking on the #1 player in the world, Pete Sampras. Saturday, beginning at 3, that's 2 Central here on ABC Sports. The Pro Bowlers Tour rolls into New England with the Tums Classic, and then golf's first major of the year as the LPGA honors the memory of a very special friend. From California, it's the Nabisco Dinah Shore, all Saturday here on ABC Sports. Andre Agassi in the cap beat Sampras serving to him. Sampras now down 5-6. Best of 3 set, final of the Lipton.
And Pete will be trying to stop this run of 4 games in a row. See how he gets over the mental scar of knowing he's already served for this set twice.
Which means he's lost his serve the last 2 times he's served. In the last 4 games that he's lost, he's made 10 unforced errors in those 4 games. He's made 21 overall unforced errors.
That was one of those great well-placed serves out wide to the two-hander on the ad side.
And 24 unforced errors. That's a lot. That's 4 games worth.
It's the inside-out forehand of Andre Agassi's that causes him to have these. This is the one that really hurts him. As you can see, he sort of steers that one down the right-hand side of the court. You know, he was out for 10 weeks last winter, tendonitis in that wrist. And then, as we said, he came back. It took a cortisone shots and eventually had surgery, which he knew could have been a tennis life-threatening move.
Well, obviously, my math isn't very good because that's 25 unforced errors, and that's a little over 6 games worth.
And it's the forehand that's really started to crack up. I mean, up to 5-2, he was amazing with it, and now it's really, really faltering.
Set points for Agassi. Saves 1, but the big serve, 116 mile an hour.
Now, as the returner, Agassi's got to figure that Sampras is going to go for a big serve. So do you pick a direction?
In the case of Sampras, I think you've got to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that helps.
Sampras. Agassi is on the board 7 games to 5.
And what, did that hit the strings?
Not at all. I'm not sure if it was the grip, the throat, or the frame.
Well, actually, he was a little concerned over that volley. It was short, and it certainly gave Sampras a good hit, a pass. This one here, he kind of stabs at it. It's short. He closes in, and that hit somewhere on the frame.
I think it hit the upper left-hand side of the frame.
But the thing is, he's got the set.
Yeah, you pay for the whole thing, you might as well use it. He's using a new racket, by the way.
Talk about Agassi's ability to come back so well so soon after surgery, and the same thing last year at Wimbledon after he'd had such a layoff. He never has been a great practicer. He's always been able to mentally handle going out on the court with not much preparation. Whereas you get players like Lendl and Courier, and they go, they cannot handle it mentally if they haven't had great preparation and practice for hours and hours and hours.
Well, Agassi's is just so talented. He can just bring all of his assets, all of his qualities to the court without much practice and be very successful. But this is the big change that he's been talking about. He's really dedicated himself again to being fit. This is the fittest he's ever been. This is the best shape he's ever been in.
Well, what he's done is he's discovered cross-training. He loves his time in the gymnasium as well as cardiovascular training.
I saw his gym, actually, Pam, in Las Vegas at the end of the year. It's an incredible sight, and he's got a row of machines that he calls Death Row, designed to kill you. And he has spent a lot of time on those machines.
He spent a lot of time on death row, has he?
He got it. That running forehand has worked beautiful for him today, and you can see him giving the old fist pump, so he's not through with this match yet. Watch this.
Well, not only showing that he can hit the forehand cross-court for winners, but on the run, which is what he's so good with, he can hit it up the line. And this is what he did so well in the Australian Open earlier this year to win that event. And you can see, I think the adrenaline's starting to really kick in. I think that he's going to give the second set a big go.
Break points for Sampras. Wide.
Well, you got to get the feeling that Pete's probably giving himself a gut check, both physically and mentally. I mean, if he actually might start to feel better as the match goes on, and then he realizes that mentally he can really give it his best in this second. If he wins this, he's got to face a third.
Makes those games at 5-2 in the first set so much more important that he did not win. Still break point. That forehand side has been lethal, and that's what set up that winning volley from Pete Sampras, who changes his shirt. Sampras on the board with the break first game, second set. Agassi won the first set 7-5. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Well, it's like
Right.
That's right. People wouldn't do that. Yeah, somebody would. What? 4 times 4, 16, you idiot. You know?
Yeah. No, all games.
Andre Agassi won the first set 7-5. Sampras has a break and leads it 1-0 now. Andre Agassi, we've been talking about, has rededicated himself. He's spending actually more time on the court as well. He's in excellent shape. About his rededication, he said this.
Incredible for me. It's made me really rethink and understand really how important the game is to me. And it's not quite as simple as saying, well, now I just have an appreciation for it because I've been gone for so long. It's more a question of me saying, wow, this is something that's really important to me. If you knew me on a personal level, you know that I address every challenge in my life with every bit of passion I have inside, you know, and tennis poses obstacles for me that I haven't overcome yet. And personally, I'm committed to doing that. And I think the first sign is you can tell in my fitness, first of all. I've dedicated myself to being as prepared as I can possibly be. And I think you can, you know, time will say the most. I really don't feel a need or responsibility to convince anybody, but I just feel a need and responsibility to express where I feel I am.
He shows it, doesn't he? I mean, he is looking in terrific shape. He has lost weight. There was a time when I thought he was doing too much death throw work and that he had built himself up and was losing some flexibility and movement ability that I think is so important to his game. But now he's lost weight and he's looking in terrific shape.
Yeah, a lot of the work he has done, too, has been movement related. He's got several machines that are designed specifically with that in mind. He's got a lateral movement machine that he demonstrated, and it was just amazing.
Well, one of the buzzwords these days is sports-specific training, and that is really a key to a lot of not only professionals who have been around for years, but especially the young and up-and-coming players.
USTA Player Development Program that is so interested in those kinds of issues. Headquarters right here in this stadium. 30-15. Like that, 30-15.
As Sampras serves his 4th ace of the match.
.109-mile-an-hour first serve. Game points for Sampras. Started out well in the first set, 5-2 with 2 breaks, and then he got broken twice, and it looked for all the world like he had lost steam, but he has come back with a vengeance here in the second set so far. Game point. 120-mile-an-hour ace. It's 2-0.
Well, the key to Andre, when he was talking in coming out of the last changeover about his commitment to the training, and he said time will say the most. Let's face it, it's over the long haul what kind of commitment level you have. And this is the commitment level that we've seen Martina Navratilova have for so many years, and Yvonne Lindell. But whether or not this man has it in him, well, we're going to have to wait a while.
And it seems like the telling factor is always his fitness. I mean, he's well known for really not wanting to practice very much, and some of his eating habits. I mean, it's not anything new, but he is determined to change all of that. And as you say, Pam, it's over the long run.
Missed it. 15-all. Yeah, he was a well-known fast food freak, Andre Agassi. He's changed that now.
Well, the Sampras serve way below what he needs it to be. I mean, this is the backbone of his game, the serve. Only 44% on forced errors. Big number there, 24. But he's also had a lot of winners. He's got 15 winners. And Agassi won the last 5 games of the set to break Sampras 3 straight times. And that's fairly unheard of. Sampras has only lost a serve 4 times in the entire tournament.
15-love.
Well, the second double fault of the match brings up 2 break points for Pete to go up again 2 breaks, which is the lead he had in the first set.
I said 15-love, excuse me. Double break point now.
Agassi showing that he can serve some big bombs. That's the 3rd ace.
Still break point for Sampras. And he leads 2-love. He was up 2 breaks in the first set and lost it. Agassi will punish you if you hit anything short to him. It is not a very high percentage play, but it is that makes him so great to watch. Look at how that racket does not drop below the level of the ball much. He is up in the air when he makes contact with it as he is rotating his shoulders into the ball. He hits the ball very flat, and that's how come he hits it so hard and deep.
So that's 3 straight points now that Agassi has won from being down 2 breaks, 15-40.
Game point. Match is 1 hour old. missed it. Back to deuce. "14,000 fans and the stadium is jam-packed." What a dream final. Andre Agassi and pretty much anybody. You put him up against number one and you've really got something. Sails long, very lackadaisical shot, that one from Sampras, and it's game point for Agassi.
And the players will be very happy that there's really quite a cloud cover that has come over the stadium area. Yesterday was 1 degree below the record temperature for the South Florida area. Especially Pete Sampras will be happy if the temperature is a little lower.
So Agassi comes back down 2 break points, but he holds on, and Sampras leads 2-1 in the second set.
Beautiful architecture. Lovely. But up till then, we were right. I mean, are we going to cut up till 2-love?
Oh.
There's my agent, Jeff Schwartz.
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
He is nice. You're anticipating 3, huh?
It's the Lipton Championship. It's the men's final. It's part of the IBM ATP Tour, and Pete Sampras of the U.S. is taken on from also the U.S. Las Vegas, Nevada. Andre Agassi. Sampras to serve with a break in the second set, 2-1. Problem for Sampras is that he just hasn't got enough first serves in. When he gets them in, he's just short of 80%. But look what happens when he misses the first serve. But I don't think he should feel alone in that respect, because when you miss your first serve against Andre Agassi, I don't care how good you are, you're in a lot of trouble, because he is lethal on the second serve return.
And that was his 13th forehand error in the match so far. Most of those coming in the last 6-8 games.
That's the thing that was really working well for him to give him the 5-2 lead in the first set. That one right there. He has to cover an awful lot of court to play this winner. I mean, he's actually he finishes up actually in the alley, and that's tough on the legs.
That's where Steffi Graf hit so many of her forehands from, and that winner was Pete Sampras' 10th forehand winner of the match. Oh, that was a 6th ace, Betsy.
In the last 2 points, he's done with the 2 things that he's known for: his big serve and the big forehand. You look at him and you really wonder how he's feeling. He's obviously playing, well enough to be really in this match. 5-2 lead in the first set, served for it twice.
big serve, 96 mile an hour, and he has a game point.
And it was his second serve.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are pretty happy with that for the first serve.
He has had his shin sprint problems as well. Remember when he won the US Open the first time? He was in pain, but he's in so much better shape now. Taking no chances. He hits that over up to the cheap seats. Uh-oh. They're going to ask him for that ball back. This is not baseball. He's saying, what do you mean you want the ball back?
See, at our Baltimore Oriole games, when a fan catches a ball in the air, they say over the PA system, give that fan a contract. But they're going to tell this guy
for the ball back.
Send it back. Oh, he's still having a good time. All right, all right. Quit boasting.
3-1 Sampras.
Looked like one of my drop shots. Horrible.
Not a good play against a guy who's as quick as Agassi anyway, is it?
When you hit a drop shot, what you're really looking for is that backspin and just clearing the net by a little bit, but that clears the net by about 8 feet, I'd say.
He was standing, you know, just behind the baseline when he played it as well. That makes that even tougher.
Yeah. Ace on the second serve, 30 love. That was a dumb strategical move, I think, from Pete Sampras to try to hit that drop shot. I mean, love. A reminder that Andre Agassi could have been declared the champion here, but he elected to allow Pete Sampras an extra hour to recover from a mysterious stomach ailment. Sporting gesture on his part. I've never seen his forehand better, you know.
That one, sorry, Pam, that one, it looked like he really froze Agassi on the baseline. He, you know, we've seen him take that forehand up the line for several winners today, and he kind of held onto that one and then hit his favorite one, the cross-court one. You know, from 40 love, it's now 40-30, and this is a similar situation to the first set. Agassi got broken early on, got down 3-1. Got broken again in the first set. He's already down 1 break in the second set.
Back to deuce.
Well, this is what makes Pete Sampras such a wonderful player, is because he's got the huge serve as a weapon, but when he's on his return games, he's got such wonderful backcourt shots as well. He's a complete player.
Deuce. There's a break point for Sampras to go up 4-1. He led 5-2 behind 2 breaks of serve in the first set.
And didn't Sampras control that slice backhand well? Because Agassi really penetrated with the approach shot. Pete did not take a full swing. He just caressed it down low, made Agassi hit a low backhand volley, which we know he's not comfortable up at net. Maybe went for a little too much on that one.
Sometimes when you're playing with, let's say, an injury or in his case a stomach complaint, you know, kind of it makes it easier in a way to play. It takes some of the pressure off because he doesn't expect to do well, and he is hitting some of those balls just as sweetly as he can. But he's also looking very lackadaisical. Deuce.
Oh.
Look at that sweep.
That's really a reflex. I mean, the serve is wonderful. It's hit well, about 100 miles an hour, and it's just a stretch and a swipe at the ball. And you just hope for the best. And he hit the best.
Back to Deuce, and you could tell on that replay that he didn't start to make his move until the serve had been hit, so it wasn't something that he anticipated.
Andre just signaled the crowd to sort of get behind him a bit here. They think the crowd's a lot more behind Pete today because he's come out with this illness than they would have ordinarily be behind the #1 player in the world.
There wasn't much angle to be found from the position that he hit that backhand, but he found it nevertheless. Out of reach of Agassi, sets up another break point for Sampras.
And this is the longest game of the match. And remember, Agassi started with this service game up 40-love.
You know, he was able to get down 2 breaks in the first set and still win the set, meaning he had to break Sampras, you know, 3 times to do that, and that you just can't count on doing that again.
Well, it has a pretty easy shot here. It just really smacks the forehand.
Game point Agassi. Okay, where shall I serve this? He's asking somebody in the crowd.
This is the 14th point of this game.
Game point Agassi. So Andre Agassi, in as much trouble as he was in that game, holds on anyway. Sampras still has the break in the second set. He'll serve leading 3-2 after this.
Slide over any further, are you ready? It's like the sailboat boom. Coming about with the job. Wow, how many different amazing.
Brian. A little $5 bet on the set. 2-1. If you give me 2-1, I'll take Agassi. This guy's got to break against him, Brian. You ask me who I want, and then you start arguing with me. Oh, now he's acquitted. Now he's acquitted. Take it. I'll take it. 5. It's 3-2 now, as Pete Sampras, the top player in the world, leads in the second set. But as big a lead as he had in the first set, he let it slip. Agassi came back and won that set 7-5. You're watching Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras in the final of the Lipton. You're on Key Biscayne. Cliff Drysdale, Ben Shriver, Betsy Nagelson. Hope that you're enjoying this day on a sultry, warm, humid day here in South Florida. 15 low.
Pete has only dropped 2 points on his serve in this set. He's served twice. He's broken once. Unforced errors from Pete Sampras up to 30. 16 for Agassi. And on the other hand, Andre Agassi has looked at 7 break points in this set, and he's only been broken once.
Long, 30 low. Sampras is the defending champion here. He beat Malavia Washington in a rain-plagued tournament last year. Stepping stone tournament. This, as you look at Pete Sampras, he became the #1 in the world after this tournament last year. Michael Chang had a great 92 up to this event and then didn't play so well for the rest of the year. But remember how Jim Courier made his move in 91. He won out in Indian Wells, and then here Agassi won it in 90.
Pete served 7 double faults in this match so far, and the 1 point he's lost in this game was a double fault, but it's only his 3rd point dropped on serve in this second set. Very hard to serve volley on your second serve against Andre Agassi. Just gets it down so low so quickly to the incoming volleyer. That's why he won Wimbledon a couple years ago.
Exactly. I mean, to be able to return that effectively on a grass court just shows you how quick he is with his hands, how quick he sees the ball.
For that one, but didn't execute the shot when he got to the ball, and it's a deuce now.
And this point gives Andre his first real chance to try and get in a break position on the Sampras serve. From 40-15, this missed backhand into the net off the drop shot brings up deuce.
From 40-15, and again, that double fault could prove costly. It was sure expensive in the first set. It was a set point.
When I asked Andre Agassi earlier this week who his hero in tennis was, he said Jimmy Connors. And when you think about it, there are some similarities. In fact, quite a few similarities in the way they play. Of course, Jimmy Connors was a left-hander. 2 hands throw off one side. He hit the ball very early and very flat. And those things are very true of Agassi as well.
I think Connors used to hang out a bit in Las Vegas when Andre was just a little kid.
They both sure like playing to the crowd, too.
Game point, Sampras. Missed it, so it's deuce.
Connors had all those made-for-TV matches in the 70s out in Las Vegas, and I'm sure Andre would have seen Jimmy live in person so many times. And that can really make an impression on a youngster who loves a sport.
Andre used to go out there during the tournament the Alan King used to be held at in Las Vegas, and he would hit with the players, just as a 4-year-old. Point for Sampras, and he's got a game point at 3-2 in the second.
Well, the one thing when you play Andre Agassi, you know you're in for a fight. You've got to cover so much of the court. It's really very punishing to the legs and to the mind if you really don't want to have long points.
So Pete Sampras holds on and leads 4 games to 2. Had a chance to talk to Andre Agassi over at Fisher Island, which is not far here from Key Biscayne, and said to him, well, who are your heroes in tennis?
I'd have to probably point towards Jimmy Connors for that because of his intensity, his discipline, his work ethic, but also his enjoyment of the game. It's like when he was out there, you felt like it was a place where he'd rather be nowhere else, and that was something that I really picked up on a lot. And I looked at him in the eyes of, wow, one day maybe I can. And I think he was a big influence on me. And I think Bjorn Borg was another influence on me. You know, somebody who had their own unique style, and that really had an impact on me as well.
2 of the great names in tennis, Bjorn Borg. 5 straight Wimbledon titles, 6 or 7 French. The only one he never won was the US Open. Oh. See, this is another shot that is really not a real high percentage shot, but Agassi turns it into one. Watch this.
And this cost him really the first set lead. He got down 5-2 because he kept going down this line, and Sampras was able to catch up to it and whack the forehand, but no catching up to that one.
30 love.
Andre mentioned Bjorn Borg as one of his idols, and of course you have to remember Borg as being one of the great returners, and once again having won Wimbledon 5 times in a row. You would never pick it going into Borg's career that he would do that. But that just goes to show on grass, great return means you got a chance at winning it all.
He's not going to get to that, and Sampras wins the point, 30-all.
And Pete looked over and said 2. It looked like he was saying you've missed 2 calls in this last bit of time. As we see the ball, it's very hard to tell from that angle, but you can tell by his reaction, he certainly thinks it's long.
And he had the support of the crowd, too, whistling during the point. Doesn't change the score. It's 30-all.
Tennis is probably one of the few sports where you can look over and you want to argue with the official and you see a woman there. Maybe the guys tend to not say what they might say to a guy.
Yep. Another break point for Sampras.
Struggling every single service game, Agassi, finding himself very much on the defensive as Sampras comes in, takes the short ball. So another break point.
Look how many Sampras has had. 10 chances, and he's only broken 3 times.
Only took Agassi 5 chances to break the same number.
That's a great volley. Got it low and generated a superb angle for the clean winner, and it's back to deuce.
And that's as good a net court play as you'll see from Andre Agassi. He hits the big forehand, which he uses as an approach. And look how low he gets for this forehand volley. Keeps a firm wrist. A lot of times you see awful forehand volleys, and it's because the wrist breaks.
You should know a little bit about volleying, Pam Shriver, because unbelievable doubles record that you have had, and still number in the top 10 in the world in doubles.
Well, it's where I feel most comfortable. Get me off that baseline.
Game point, Agassi. So Agassi holds on. He was in trouble in that serve game again. Nevertheless, he wins it. Sampras will serve, leading 4-3.
That really wasn't that horrible, was it? It's just sort of. I mean, but how many? What other sports would you look? But yeah, exactly. But what other sport would they have women officials on there? I mean, golf. No, in the minors, but not the big time. Pam Post, whatever her name is, she never made it. Boxing, never seen a woman. Skating, I wonder if
Just one
skating.
break point in that game.
Men's figure skating.
In that
Is there
really long
women
game,
judges
how many break
in
points were there?
Men's
NBA, no.
And the one
Hockey,
before that?
no.
3, 2.
Football, no. Golf, probably golf. There'd be some women officials.
Yeah, they were.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 8th break point. 8.
Time.
Seventeen hard courts on this stadium site. 7-5 to Agassi. He won the first set. 4 games to 3. Sampras leads, and he'll serve. There are also 8 clay courts, 2 grass courts under construction at this terrific site. It also, as we've said, houses the USTA Player Development Program, so you will see a lot of young kids and some not so young enjoying the facilities here, which includes weight rooms and exercise equipment and sports science equipment. Winners and unforced errors, you can see Sampras there, 31 and 34. Agassi, 17 and 17. A lot of unforced errors from this man Sampras, but he has been going for it. And I think that what you said earlier in the match, Pam, is that he's trying to get the points over quickly because he's not feeling good.
I actually get the feeling that both of their game plans is a little bit clouded with this circumstance. Andre doesn't seem to be as clear or as focused, and certainly neither does Pete. I just feel like it's not as clean a strategic match as it would have been if everyone was healthy.
Yeah, because I mean, clearly it's a fairly distracting situation, and the game plans are so clear for both of these players. I mean, Pete Sampras knows he's gonna serve big, so he knows that that's one game, and then the return game for Pete Sampras has to be played a totally different way. He has got to keep the ball in play, which he's much better at.
Just clarify once again, in case you just joined us, for you what we're talking about. Pete Sampras came to this stadium court this morning with a real serious stomach condition. He woke up feeling very poorly, hoped that it would improve. It did not improve. He was finally treated with intravenous fluids by Dr. Charles Virgin, who is the tournament doctor, and a big question about whether he'd come out at all. Oh. Point still for Sampras. Excuse me.
How much do these two-handers like when they suddenly have this angle presented right in front of them? As we see Pete's forced to hit the half volley. He hits it nicely. It's an angle, but Andre's quick enough, and he gets in terrific position. Pete has to guess, and you're supposed to guess the line, but Andre loves to flip it back cross court.
Game point.
Well, he's shown in this match that he can do everything off the backhand side. Topspin lob, backhand down the line, and a short angle cross court.
Sampras holds on, and we have got a 5-3 story here in the second set. Agassi won the first 7-5. I was interested when Agassi beat Edberg in the very first game. When Edberg served, he threw up a couple of lobs. Not all of them hit the mark, but he nevertheless was telling Edberg that it was an option for him, and he used it well in the match.
And what that does is it puts into the mind of the volleyer that they can't close in too tight because they know they have to protect the lob.
Drop shot is dangerous against Agassi. He's too quick. And Sampras paid the price.
He's so good at holding his racket out in front. Agassi is when he's on the full stretch. Watch how prepared he is. He's in perfect balance. The racket he holds just out in front and then just gives it a little flick up the line.
Well, that time he was going to play the approach shot. 2 points ago, Andre stepped 5 or 6 feet inside the baseline, played a backhand, and then backed up. He still won the point. You get the feeling anytime Andre comes into the court and he has to create a net approach, he's not comfortable.
15-all. That's the inside-out forehand that he hits so well. There's no way to judge where he's going. You see, the return is relatively short, so he comes in. The racket head comes through the ball. He's in the air about a foot when he makes contact with it, with the shoulders turning beautifully. Great balance. That's wide, 30-all.
And the hand and the wrist takes an awful lot of that impact when you hit the ball that hard. And you think about how many balls a player hits in the course of a year. You can see why if a joint is vulnerable to an injury, as we look at the wrist there, you can see why it might develop a problem.
The Agassi serve has definitely improved him, and he is not only serving harder as we look at his 6th ace, 102 miles per hour. He really has added pace to that first serve.
So that backhand error gives Pete a little opening, 2 points away from the second set. The way he served, failed to serve out twice the first set, he might want to try and break for this second set.
Down the line, he's got a set point now.
Just what you said, Ken, totally the opposite of what you would think. I mean, Sampras should hold serve always for his for his set as we look at a replay. Agassi coming in, but leaves too much of the court open for Sampras. Just hit the forehand line to give him a set point. He had a set point in the first serve on his serve and served a double fault. Now he's got a set point on the Agassi serve.
Stefano Capriati talking to Brad Gilbert, who has got a view on just about everything in every sport.
Actually, both guys like to have a chat. The other great thing for Pete, if he could have broken, is it's always nice to start serving that third set. This way, if he does hold, it's at 5-4, and Agassi will start serving the third.
Game point, Agassi. No explaining that. That one didn't even look close. And it's back to deuce.
Well, that's the third double. He can manage to smile. Sampras has served 7.
Agassi is just not near as comfortable at the net as Sampras. You get him to the net and you have a chance at the pass. He's in the defensive position. Watch this.
That's why when Agassi does choose to come in, he has to come in off of something very, very, very good, so that all he has to do is just kind of push the volley into the open court.
Another set point for Sampras.
Well, we see Sampras come up with big serves when he needs them, and Agassi just showed that he can do it too.
Pete was looking at the court like it was a grass court, like it gave him a bad bounce. He's having a little trouble putting away these sets.
Sampras is having trouble putting away these break points. He's broken 3 times and he's had countless chances. But another one, set point.
Well, the 7th ace off Agassi's racket wipes away breakpoint opportunity number 11 in this set.
Had 14 chances to break and he's broken only 3 times.
That's for the whole match.
Yeah, he's had 11 in this set.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely tried to bring Andre into net there. He just took the pace off the ball, played the little chip, knowing that Andre's not happy in the front part of the court. He doesn't have a slice approach so much. A lot of times he goes ahead and hits the topspin, but when you're halfway into the net at the service line, it's harder to keep it inside the baseline.
Set point. He missed that one, steals it wide, and Pete Sampras has won the second set. Remember, he led 5-2 with 2 breaks in the first set. Set 3 after this.
Here comes trainer, Mr. Todd. What's Todd's last name? Snyder.
Schnitzel. Huh?
He's got to be having some new. He's got to have something that's going to give him a little energy here. I mean, yeah, but I just think you need something more than just straight sugar, don't you? Or, oh, we're gonna look at that. That'd be a nice way for him to wear a shirt the rest of the match.
I could explain it.
He's showing off his tight stomach.
Yeah. Brian, I can never explain anything. So what's new, Pussycat? I knew what you were looking for.
Oh.
I think that you should change the subject. Lipton Championships, it's the final day of the Lipton here on Key Biscayne, and the weather has cooperated. Boy, has it. Last year, some terrible weather here in the South Florida area. This year, it has been perfect, and the players have responded. The tournaments has responded, and the crowds have responded. It's a full house here. 14,000 people watching Pete Sampras serve to Andre Agassi. First game, third set, 15 love.
And that's how you're supposed to hit the backhand volley. As we look at the unforced errors by set, Sampras really cleaned up his act in that second set, and Agassi added a few.
Sampras has done a great job to regroup here in the match after having dropped the first set when he had served for that set 2 times. Went into the match feeling very poorly. You saw him at the start of the second get himself psyched up.
You can see against Patrick Rafter in the semifinals that Andre Agassi only made 7 unforced errors, and today's alone he's made 26. Of course, Rafter plays a similar kind of game to Sampras. He's a big serve and volleyer, but he's not nearly the player off the ground that Sampras is.
Agassi had a very good day against Becker as well. Remember, he made very few unforced errors in that match. He stays focused for long enough against a serve and volley player, and then look out. The difference, though, is that Pete Sampras is a much more complete all-round player. And he's got a game point here. Players are going to change ends with Sampras leading 1-0 on serve in the third set. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local stations. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your ABC stations. Beautiful stadium for tennis. It is jammed for this final match of the Lipton between Agassi and Sampras. Ken Rosewall won the Rado Lifetime Achievement Award in the stadium earlier this week. He was honored by this championship and invited to be here for the week. Part of a number of Legends players that played matches before the evening session. Just missed.
The ball sat there, and it looked like it was just sitting there wondering, well, should I help Pete out or should I help Andre out?
Look, he gets caught right at the service line. That's a tough place to be on a tennis court, but that's because Agassi is just so good at getting the ball at your feet.
The smile of Sweet Pete. 15 love. Oh. Problem with this guy is he makes it look too easy. Then you go out and try to do it and you realize how tough it is.
Yeah, he's just so loose around the court. I mean, physically, you know, he's got great intensity, but he gives the presence of being so loose with his arm and with his wrist. And that's how he's able to generate so much pace.
15 all. Match update as of now looks like this.
Well, Pete has brought his first serve percent up to close to 50%. It was down near 40% earlier in the match. Agassi hovering around 60, and winners in Sampras's favor, but so are the unforced errors.
Drop shot that works against Agassi. You've hit a good one.
Well, what's setting up so many of these points for Pete from the baseline is he's hitting it so short into the court and getting great angle, and it's taking Andre way off the court. And you've got to sprint back looking to cover the open court, and that time he was fooled by the drop shot.
$30 all. Boy, when he hit that, you wonder, because we're sitting here at an angle that doesn't really give you a good view of the thing. That he had so much topspin on that shot that it landed way in.
I mean, he's playing these are the kind of shots off the ground that we're used to seeing Agassi play. He holds that. We know he can go cross court, but he disguises it so well. It's the big topspin lob.
Most satisfying shot in tennis to me, that.
Is there a shot he doesn't have?
We haven't seen it.
Break point. Another one. It's a clean winner as well. And Sampras has the break. First break of the third set. 2 games to love.
A lot of times, if there is one shot a player won't have, it is a topspin, one-handed backhand lob. So here we go. Does he have this shot, do you think? I would say so.
Boy, he makes that look so easy. If only, you know, if only that is such a tough shot to play.
2 games to love Sampras. He just lets the racket head drop way below the level of the ball, brushes up over it, and it's all he needs. Just take a look at this and how he does it. You see, he turns the shoulders full. The racket is high now, but then he lets it drop way below the level of the ball right there, and then brushes up and through it and finishes high. That's how he gets the topspin.
And it looks like he's getting stronger. Pete Sampras, obviously by the score, he's up 2-love in the third. He had a little bit of a lull the end of the first set, but he must be taking some sort of fluids, giving him some kind of energy, because if he was sick before the match, chances are he didn't eat too much, but he's looking pretty good now.
15-love. Oh! Terrific! Another topspin lob attempt that was beautifully played. Agassi hitting the toughest shot in tennis, which was the high backhand volley, and he kept it in play. Didn't win the point, though. Watch.
The level of tennis has really picked up. I mean, again, we're seeing all kinds of difficult shots being played with such ease. And then Sampras finishes it off.
$30-love.
Well, Andre's instincts when he comes in net just aren't what they would be if, say, Boris Becker or Edberg were out there. And I think Pete knows that. Every time Andre comes in net, you either see the finesse backhand that keeps the ball low, and Andre has to hit the volley from down below the net, or he hits that topspin lob.
Game point. $40-15.
Earlier, we heard Pete Sampras mention how he fears Andre Agassi when he's returning his serve. You get the feeling he has very little respect when Andre ventures to the net.
Shot out of the bag. In fact, they both are at this stage, aren't they? Sampras with a 3-game-to-love lead in the third. He is too good.
You driving tomorrow morning? Yeah. I'm gonna come down, and then I'm gonna go hit some. I'm gonna drive tomorrow morning too. Early, I'm gonna pick up Robin.
You're watching the final of the Lipton in the men's singles. Pete Sampras taking on Andre Agassi, and this is a surprise only because Pete Sampras was so sick this morning before this championship started. He leads at 3-games-to-love. Do they pay those guys to get up there in that thing? Because it looks like that is so much fun, and they have a bird's eye view of this tremendous stadium that now houses the Lipton Championships. Our thanks for these overhead shots to the crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes at headquarters out of Pompano Beach, Florida. And it looks like great fun. 3 games to love, and now the question is, can Andre Agassi come back? He came back in the first set down 5 games to 2, 2 breaks.
And going back to the end of the second set, Pete Sampras has won 14 of the last 18 points, so he's clearly dominating right now, and Andre needs to put a stop to it right here.
Yeah, Sampras lost his serve 3 times in a row to lose the first set. And then in the second set, he only lost 8 points on serve. And right now in this third set, he's only lost 2 points on his own serve. So he's really turned this match around.
I saw Phil Agassi, Andre's brother, just before. Actually, it was during the delay of this final. And Phil seemed to think that Pete would not be playing the match, and that Andre was very disappointed that he wouldn't be seeing Pete out on the court, at least in his full capacities. But that's proved not to be the case.
Yeah. Forehand of Sampras's has been terrific today. 15-30 in this game now.
He has just been devastating off this side, showing he can go absolutely either way. Watch him freeze Agassi. Goes right back behind him. What a tribute to Sampras's fitness.
15-30.
We talk a lot about how fit Agassi is right now and how hard he has worked to get himself in this kind of shape, both physically and mentally, to be able to play at this level after such a long layoff. Whereas Pete Sampras has done it over a long period of time.
He left it, and I believe it landed in. So here is a break point for a second break for Sampras, and if Sampras wins this, it's going to be all she wrote. Watch this.
And the umpire, Richard Kaufman's, had a lot of opportunities today on some close calls. He's not overruled once. It's supposed to be a clear mistake if the umpire steps in and overrules. But Andre does not argue the call.
He went for it, and who can blame him, because that shot has worked so well for him, but that forehand he nets. Squanders another breakpoint opportunity. He's had just a whole bag full of them. 17 now. 2 hours old, this match. Open court volley, and Agassi's got a game point.
Every single game that Agassi has served since the second set began, he has faced at least one break point against him.
That sails wide, and Andre Agassi holds on. 3 games to 1. That was a crucial game for Agassi. He's still down a break, but only 1. Saturday, beginning at 3, 2 Central here on ABC Sports, the Pro Bowlers Tour rolls into New England with the Tums Classic. And then golf's first major of the year, as the LPGA honors the memory of a very special friend from California, the Nabisco, Dinah Shore. Saturday here on ABC Sports. Sampras to Agassi, 3-1. Another forehand winner for Sampras, who now has 20 of them against 4 for Andre Agassi. The last match that Pete Sampras lost in the Grand Slam tournament was to Sergi Bruguera, who went on to win the French championships. Then he won Wimbledon over Jim Courier in the final. Oh, there's a forehand winner for Agassi. He won the US Open, and then of course he won the Australian Open earlier this year. Butch Buchholz and his wife Marilyn in the front row, and behind him Mark Miles, CEO of the ATP Tour. Butch Buchholz is the chairman of the Lipton Championships. In fact, this whole Lipton would never have happened had it not been for him and his dedication to the cause of this tournament.
And his brother Cliff is the tournament director, and they've really worked side by side to make sure this whole stadium becomes a dream come true. Finally, in the 10th year of the Lipton, as we look at Cliff Buchholz, both former players on the tour.
And I think their dream has actually become a reality. And boy, is it nice to see that they've had such a wonderful week of weather and what's turned out to be a great final.
Game point and game to Sampras, who leads 4 games to 1. That represents 1 break of serve from this magnificent stadium. The house, I suppose you could call it, of Butch Buchholz. 4-1 in the 3rd. Okay, good.
Yep. What?
Four games to 1 to Pete Sampras of the USA. He's taken on Andre Agassi in the 3rd set of the men's final of the Lipton Championships. Pete Sampras is a very responsible young man, and he realizes that being #1 in the world requires that he have responsibility to the game.
I do have a responsibility, and I think that is to go out there every day and give my best effort. You know, I can't be responsible for, you know, the lack of racket sales. I mean, that's not really my job, I think, and you know, I'm trying to present something, you know, with the class, and it seems like, you know, people have called it boring, and which kind of baffles me. And people like the controversy. A lot of the American, the kind of new nostalgia, and that's what sells tickets. That's when the ratings go up. And but it's not really what I want to be about. So you know, I do feel responsible, but up to a certain point.
Agassi serving, trailing 1-4. That is long. I agree with Ed Pope, who's sports editor of the Miami Herald, when he quotes Ivan Lendl, who says, "It's sickening that someone who's down-to-earth, polite, behaves well, is reasonably clever, wears nice clothes, almost has to apologize for the way he is." And then he says, "Amen, Ivan."
Well, he's a total class act, and he's a gentleman, and he's humble, and he's kind, and you know, I mean, he's an American Stefan Edberg.
I think that's very well said. 30 love Agassi.
Not enough of the top players, the big names, understand that the full job description of a tennis player who's ranked somewhere in the top 10 goes much more beyond playing your matches and practicing and working out in the gym. You have to be a spokesperson for the game, and you have to promote the game.
That's wide. So Agassi holds on. It's 4 games to 2. Sampras with the lead, and he's about to serve in the category of what have you done for tennis lately. I suppose, Pam Shriver, we could say that you are president of the WTA. Know that you can do much more than you have done for the great sport of tennis.
Well, getting into the politics of the sport is time that a top player who's #1 in the world should not have to spend. Their time should be spent helping the sponsors of our sport and doing other things, media requests. Leave the politics to lower ranked players like myself.
Number 8 in the world in doubles. I'll take that kind of low. 8 aces for Sampras in the match. $15 all.
And how will this Sampras forehand hold up during the end part of this match? It has been brilliant at times and not so brilliant. Matter of fact, pretty terrible at other times.
Good question. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. This is a crucial stage of this match. 15 all. Third set, 4-2. If Agassi is going to make his move, it has to be real soon.
A couple more of those and he won't have to worry about his forehand. 9 now for Pete Sampras and 7 for Andre Agassi.
$111-mile-an-hour serve into the body that time, unreturnable, at least on that occasion, and it's game point.
And you get the feeling that Sampras sees the finish line, and that's why he's really picking up on his serves even now. When you see that finish line, the great champions really come through.
And the not so great champions choke like a dog sometimes. It's 5 games to 2. Sampras, 1 break. Third set.
Who's running me down, dude? Okay. It only takes us a minute?
Yeah, it don't take very long.
Okay. So much.
From the blimp, this is a great look of the ocean and then the beach and this beautiful stadium here. Pete Sampras leading 5 games to 2 in the third set tonight. ABC starts with America's Funniest Hour. And then at the special time, 8 o'clock, 7 Central, Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman starring Rain Man, winner of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It's the ABC Sunday night movie tonight. Agassi with an ace. He's trailing 2-5. Third set. He has served 8 aces to Sampras' 10.
Well, we really haven't seen an easy service game from Andre Agassi except for the last one. Up until then, every service game since the beginning of the second set, he's had break points against him.
Missed it on the return, 30. Make that 40 love, Agassi.
He won his last service game at Love.
preparation for that as Pete Sampras moves to the sidelines to. Okay, I thought he might be ready to change a racket. In fact, what he did was pick up a little sawdust in preparation for trying to win this final game, and with it, the championship for the second straight year. Nobody's ever done that.
No, Ivan Lendl had a chance to do it. He's the only one that had a chance. He actually won it in '86, came back and lost the very next year in the final to Machir. Sampras is in a perfect position to defend his title.
Ace. $242,000 and 350 tour points. The finalist will take home $128,000. So that is what is at stake here. Both of these players, of course, have made millions, and that's the trophy that will go along with the check. 30 love.
So,
who'd have believed it before this thing, Betsy? I mean,
yeah, it's incredible to see this happening. I mean, Pete Sampras was really looking as though he wouldn't even step out on this tennis court, and it showed in the first set. He made 23 unforced errors in the first set. Since then, he has made 19 unforced errors in 2 sets.
Another ace from Sampras, and he has championship point. Little fist pump there from Sampras as he realizes that this Lipton championship is, watch this reaction, is one swing away. He has won the Australian already this year, the US Open last year, Wimbledon last year. He won Indian Wells last week.
The crowd would have loved to have seen 4 straight aces.
Clean winner on the return, still match point, championship point for Sampras. Last time they played was at Wimbledon. A 5-set match in the quarterfinals, won by Sampras 6-4 in the 5th. In the final game, and Pete Sampras is the Lipton champion for '94.
An unbelievable turn of events since we arrived here today. And Andre Agassi had a really tough job mentally. I mean, he knew that Pete Sampras was not well. In fact, I'm sure he was close to thinking he was going to win the match either by default or the fact that Pete Sampras may not even be able to finish. And that wasn't the case at all. What a tribute to all the hours and to all the dedication and commitment that Pete Sampras has put into not only his game, but his fitness. I mean, how he could hold up in 3 sets in the condition that he is in is a remarkable statement.
Leading 5-2 in the first, he lost it 7-5, then came back and won the second 6-3 and the third 6-3.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. All right, Pete's ready.
To say a special thank you to some people that made this all happen. I'd like to thank James A. Cummings, the contractor, who did such a wonderful job of building this facility. I would also like to thank Chuck Pizzolt and all the people on the park staff who have done so much work in making this place so beautiful.
Thanks, Cliff. Pete, it was a tough day, tough circumstances. Tell us about it.
was a long day, Pam. I mean, I got up at 7 this morning. I basically felt sick. I woke up at 9 and I felt like I could throw up. I was just having a hard time just getting through the morning. And I called Todd Schneider, the ATP trainer, and just I just needed to get some IVs in me. I was really dehydrated. I think I had a bad meal last night, and I really didn't think I was going to be able to play. Come about 12:30, I was supposed to play in a half hour. I was still laying on the table with an IV in me, and so at that point, I wasn't going to play. And fortunately, the tournament, they postponed the match an extra 45 minutes so I could get more time to get some more fluids into me. And I went out and hit, and I really wasn't feeling too good when I walked out here. And it seemed like the crowd got me a little more up to it. I got up to a good start, and I was pretty surprised I won this match. I mean, when I woke up this morning, I felt like it was going to be a long day.
After the first set, you regrouped really well after having served for that set twice and not coming through. How did you regroup?
I mean, I still felt like I was hitting the ball pretty well. I was still feeling the ball pretty good, and I was giving Andre some trouble on his serve, and I just told myself not to let down. And I just, got off to a good start in the second set, broke him, and my tennis just got better and better as the match wore on. And Andre just, just didn't quite have the stick on the ball like he had, from when I was down 5-2 in the first set. But, I served well when I had to.
Looking ahead to the rest of the year, and particularly the Grand Slams, when do you start to physically and mentally prepare for the French?
Well, I get a week off, and I go over to Asia for a couple weeks. And then I'm planning on taking 4 weeks off before I go over to Europe. I'm playing in Rome in Dusseldorf, then the French Open, and that's really a time, those 4 weeks off, I'm really going to train hard with my trainer down at Saddlebrook, Pat Etcheberry, and so I'm sure I'll get in good shape for the French.
Pete, congratulations. Thanks very much. Cliff?
Pam, thank you to you, and congratulations to the winner here of the Lipton for this year. He has repeated, first time ever, Pete Sampras, 94 champion of the Lipton Championships, and he will take home, among others, a check for $242,000 for Pam Shriver and Betsy Nagelston. I'm Cliff Drysdale. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Goodbye from Key Biscayne.
The president of Lipton Sports Inc. and Lipton, and the person who really has been the glue in keeping this tournament together, Mr. Jerry Boyce.
And our county manager, we're going to talk about him a little bit later, but this would not have happened without Joaquin Avino.
Grady, you see the...
This first young man that we want to present was a past Lipton winner, and I need to tell you something that was very special today. He did not have to play this match. He gave Pete Sampras an opportunity. Pro tennis players have been, taking a lot of heat lately, and I just want to tell you, that took character, courage, and great responsibility to the game. Andre Agassi, thank you.
It wasn't too complicated a decision for me. I mean, reality of it is, unless I can beat the best player in the world, I don't deserve to take home the trophy. And I certainly don't deserve it if I can't beat him when he's sick. I'd just like to say that this tournament I've always enjoyed coming here and playing, even at times when there were a lot of things to bitch about. But this year, with the efforts that were made, I mean, this stadium is one of the most enjoyable stadiums I've ever played in, and I think one of the biggest variables in dealing with the stadium is who comes in and fills up the stands. So I wanted to say thank you for all your support this whole week. And just thanks to all the sponsors for making an event like this so possible. It's a first-class tournament. From the players' perspective, it's a complete success. We couldn't ask for anything more, and I hope you guys feel that way, and I'll see you back here next year.
I know a lot of tennis players, ladies and gentlemen, that would not have played. And I just will never forget this. Appreciate it very much. Pete, you had a tough morning. I'm glad you recovered. Our 1994 men's singles champion, Pete Sampras. Congratulations.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our ATP Tour trainers, Bill Norris and Todd Schneider, and the doctors for really getting me healthy today. At about 12:30, I really didn't think I was going to be able to play. So, thank you. Also, Andre, for letting the match happen. That really showed a lot of class, and it's something I'll never forget. Also, Butch and Cliff Buckles for building a beautiful stadium. It was really a pleasure to play here all week. And I'd like to thank my coach, Tim Gullickson, who's standing over there, my girlfriend over there, for all her support. And I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out. And this is being a beautiful place, and I plan on coming back here next year. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more presentation. This is something that we've never done before, but again, in recognizing somebody with great character, great perseverance, and a person that believed in what we were doing, we'd like to give Joaquin Avino the Lipton Cup.
Butch said it all. I think it's important for our community, since we tend to dwell on the negatives, to accent the positives. And I think this stadium represents one of the positives that we have in our community that we're very proud of. Thank you, Butch, for hanging on with us.
And lastly, but certainly not least, we thank all of our sponsors. I thank my staff, the people that work for us who put this on. They have just done a magnificent job. Again, to our ambassadors, and to you, the fans, who really make this work. We're very proud of this facility. This is the best place in the world for it, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Really? It is really?